hand this over to the casters. We're going to get underway. It's going to be the first game of the evening. Waffy, what's it going to be?
Well, me and Riddick are going to cast the set known as Bloodlust versus Crysis. And if we move over here with our draft screen here, we're actually going to see what maps have been drafted. And that is going to be me and Riddick discussing what is going on here. So, Riddick, what do you think about this draft where Bloodlust has picked the Jaguar Falls map and banned Timber Mill, while Crysis have picked Stone Keep and banning Serpent Beach? Why ban those maps or pick them?
Woofy, I'm really surprised at the Serpent Beach ban because we don't see, like, Serpent Beach is a meta map. It's something we see a lot of high level play on, especially in terms of controlling the high ground. A lot of EU play, a lot of Drogos play, and we know Rip Julian on the side of Crysis, he likes himself for Drogos. However, Jaguar Falls is a pretty standard opening map. It's got a decent level playing field. It's good for teams to test each other out and see what they're made of, and it's a good place to start off and then get the set rolling and go from there. So I'm really excited to see how Crysis and Bloodlust match up. Bloodlust, pretty decent favorite to win this series, but we can only see and only hope that Crysis can put up a decent fight and carry this game.
Indeed, and I mean, while we have these maps open for play, we can actually look at the draft that we've made or that they've made for the first game on Jaguar Falls, and let's take a look at that, where we of course will cover each team. And on Bloodlust, I really enjoyed that draft. They chose to ban out the Khan and the Cassie to make sure that they will have a very strong comp that can't be countered by CC immunity nor burst. And then they chose to pick Inara, Makoa, Maldamba, Talus, and Tyra. What happened on Crysis side?
On the side of Crysis, we see a Torv and Furia ban, and I'm not surprised there. This current meta is very tanky, very heal orientated. You get your tanks on point, you keep them healed up, and you go from there. But I'm actually somewhat surprised. We've got a lot of hit scan on the side of Crysis. We've got the Lian, the Androxus, and the Barrack. The only blaster being Drogos. Rip Julian obviously playing that for us today. So I'm eager to see how that matches up against Bloodlust in this meta. We've got a lot of counters coming up from Bloodlust as well. Look, there's the Tyra, there's the Talus. Drogos might not be able to stay up in the air for too long in this matchup.
I don't really think that it was. I think it's more of a risky play, you know, because when you pick Talus in this current meta, it's because you have a plan with it. It's not because you're just picking it because what else is there to pick. So a Talus versus a single tank, I do really like. Honestly, my money would actually be on Bloodlust in this situation, but I don't know about you, man.
Yeah, but Crysis has gone with an attempted counter to the double tank meta. They're going with a very single aggressive tank format. They've got the Barrack. He's a pushy tank, and he likes to get up in your face and start zoning you out. But the Drogos can put out a lot of consistent damage, which can enable it. So honestly, I might have to disagree with you. I'm gonna have to side with Crysis on this one, man. Talus is a lot of fun, but we haven't really seen some amazing plays from him in the meta as of late. He's kind of faded out in favor of better champions, but we'll have to see how well he can match up.
Well, with no further ado, we're going to take a short break and return to you with game number 1 between Bloodlust and Crysis. You're watching the Legacy League here on Legacy League TV. See you soon. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome aboard to game number 1 here in the Legacy League between Crysis and Bloodlust. Let's go through to the rosters. Over on the side of Crysis, we have Toxie playing the Death and Texas Lian, Fraza playing the Hits Will Roll and Truxis, Snust on the Life Exchanging, Rip Julian playing the Combustible Drogos, and Snoofy playing the Tinker and Barrack. What is going on the side?
On the side of Bloodlust, we have the Spirit's Chosen Maldamba, Shronley working that, Duffet on the Inner Strength Talus, Hunting Party Tyra for Ordate, Leviathan for Stop Me, and Mother's Grace for Sykes' Zanara.
The fight has hereby begun over on the Jaguar. A few pressure shots from Rip Julian to open up the field, but Sykes is on the point, controlling the field with his team being very, very consistent in not receiving too much damage.
This is where we see the Drogo's pick on Rip Julian's side really come into play. Both the tanks on Bloodlust side, Inara and Mako, are trying to get a set off the point, but the combustible Drogos isn't allowing them to do that. Sure, you got the Mother's Grace Inara getting that CC, a beautiful hook, by the way, coming through, taking care of that Drogos, but it's just not enough. As you can see, there's a tank down already for Bloodlust. Mako goes away, and Inara's there left to contest the points.
As of now, Crysis has to pull themselves together and get onto the point, and they actually do, with Snoofy just jumping into the point, as we've seen become kind of a meta thing with Barrick just going on the point and getting that overtime. But it's to no avail, as Sykes is all onto them, getting one, getting two. They really don't have any means to take it, and the payload has hereby been captured by Bloodlust.
Yeah, Crysis really, after Barrick went down and Lian followed, after they just didn't have a chance, they started getting really, really stagnant, and Bloodlust sustain actually allowed them to win that fight. They got the picks when they needed to, and Talus really showed his colors there, being that flank, and it's just going the way of Bloodlust at the moment. Drogos really needs to get himself set up well to start countering this composition we have here on the side of Bloodlust.
In the backline, we see the Fit doing a little bit of pressure onto the Lian, making sure that Crysis won't be able to advance onto them with some really nice overcharge shots. We see Fraser up in the air. He's trying to see if he can get some quick shots onto Talus, but he gets out in due time. The Fit really doing his hardest to survive and pressure.
And Drogo's looking for a cursed armor, pops out. He doesn't really find any value for it. It's going to get pushed back. That might have been a bit of a misplay on the side of Fraza. Still finds the Makora Stompies. The Stompy is going to go back to base with that one. As Fraza continues looking for a bit of more cheeky flanks. Immediately starting with the zone. They need to stop Bloodlust's momentum. They need to stop them regrouping. But Fraza's in a bad situation. Now facing off the Inara. Manages to get away from there and starts continuing. Just trying to stagger out Bloodlust at the moment.
They were staggered, but now they are grouped up again. They were patient and just reset by, as you saw, there was one of them just jumping out of the fray. He just wanted to kill himself and reset for a respawn. And now the fight is going on right at the payload with a nice impasse countering Fraza in the fray. See you later, alligator, as they would say, as the Fit gets another kill. And the payload gets pushed forward.
And Drox is maybe the Godslayer, and he's taken out Inara's dad, but she wants that revenge, man. Beautiful impasse there, will take him down. And now Rip Julian is going to have to do some extra work. Barrick is contesting all on his own at the moment, managing to push back Bloodlust. This is impressive. Orday gets taken down. Fraza, beautiful flick shots coming through here. Having to pull back though, little low, gets taken down. Crysis on the back foot immediately.
Like, I just wanna look at how beautifully executed the Fit does his Talus. Like, I'm very impressed. He is right now not in the meta, but look at his flicks. He has gotten so many essential kills for his squad, and with only 14 seconds left on the payload push, there is not much they can do but really do their hardest to defend over on Crysis, because if they just lose one member during that defense, they won't actually protect it.
This is true. Actually, with Inner Strength being the legendary here, Duffet has to basically go all in for every single backline push that he does, and he's managing to pull it off every single time. He's pushing in, getting the kills that he needs to, getting the kills on Lian, on Drogos, and then just pulling back to safety and healing up and then going at it again. He's making an impressive Talus play, and Talus, at the moment, to make him any sort of good with the team, you have to be really skilled. You have to be able to track well, and you have to be able to make those flicks with a blitz upper. You have to be able to do that, and he is. So I'm excited to see how that goes and continues playing forward. We do have a game poised by Snoofy. We're waiting for that to finish and finalize. Just want to take a look at the damage on the charts at the moment. As we can see, it's going all the way of Crysis. They do have the advantage of a bit of a heavy damage draft now, having 2 damage dealers and a flank to their name. And let's face it, Barrick's still Fat Cassie in our hearts, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's... Oh, it's a curse and a blessing in one package, you know? But, like, I just want to see some nutty enlightenments from Crysis, because they do have a Lian, and Lian has always been, like, a top meta pick. So if they... if I can see just one good enlightenment onto the fit, I think Crysis has the control back in their favor. There's just no telling with how Bloodlust are playing right now. They're playing out of their minds. I'm really impressed by how controlled coordination they have.
Yeah, Bloodlust have always been full of good team players, and the coordination overall, the communication especially, is just always on point, as I've seen. Crysis, I think they're getting a little staggered right now. They're playing some very squishy champions, and their tanks are putting out damage to be comparable at the moment. As you can see, Inara and Makoa in the middle of the spot there, and have been taking the necessary picks when people get up in their face, when the Lian and when the Drogos get a little too eager for kills, as we saw with Fraza as well. Inara's there to just take them down the peg.
The whole squad is having beautiful positioning indeed. So we just have to wait and see for the last part of this defense. There's 10 seconds left on the payload clock. We see Sykes going into the fray, making sure that some damage will be happening. A little bit of slow happening here as the Waters field gets placed onto Snoofy. He has used the Storm Shield though, and that might be enough. The Enlightenment coming through, dealing damage, but Toxi will go down just the same. And there we go. A full team wipe and a conversion for the side of Bloodlust.
It was just too much for Crysis to handle right there, and I'm glad that Rip Julian saved us. It looked like he was attempted to use it on the Inara, but the second more than just two of his teammates went down, he backed off, said, okay, you know what? You can have the 2-0. We'll reset and hopefully come back in this game. We do have the Dragon Punch. Bloodlust do have an ult advantage, though. They were able to push in using only Tyra's ult. That was the only ult they lost, so they're definitely going to be able to do some damage in this point fight, and that can be very impactful. And as we've seen with Dalfit, as I'm really shocked to say, he's been making Ying's life very difficult these past few matches. As you can see across the healing boards, she's only outputting 40k healing. And that's not just a testament to a poor healer, that's a testament to a good flank in my books.
That's true. Like, if you have a good flank, there will not be healing on your side, because everyone would be pretty much dead all the time. And as you can see, Dalfit with 8, 1, and 6. But we have a Dragon Punch activated, but will not connect from Rip Julian. More used as a reposition tool than an actual ult tool and damage tool. But it doesn't matter, because the seismic crash from Sykes will not affect him, but the rest of his teammates will. And there we go, Toxi going down, will be followed by Snoofy. And with a beautiful firebomb, Rip Julian has to go all the way back to base.
You know, when I was a wee man and some of sold by them pro Makoma players, the only tank you ever hook is a barrack, and we can see that unfortunately Snoopy's getting the bad side of that at the moment, as he can't stay on point at the moment. Ying's not being able to heal him because of Talus, and Barrack's not able to stay alive just because Makoma and Nara are putting way too much pressure on him. As we can see, as Bloodlust takes the third capture point here, making it a 3-0 and just pushing in and dominating on Jaguar Falls right now.
On the point right now, we see Crysis is in a little bit of a pickle. They always show up at the wrong time, getting a hook onto Snoofy and killing him. Dalfit using his ult to most efficient prowess. Like, that was a really good one, getting a hold, trying to get a hold onto Rip Julian, but he died to a great rocket there. Now it's a 4 versus 5 initiation going on here, and I do believe that Crysis has the spawn advantage right now, so they might actually do some nutty plays here.
Yeah, you can see Crysis is playing a lot more defensively. They don't really have a composition for it, but Frost is making plays right now. He's trying to stay out there. Zukosadon comes out, finds Ordain, looking for a second double kill on the Meldan, but looking for a triple. Doesn't get it. Snoopy's going to take that away from him, getting some vengeance on the Inara, but that could be the turning point we need for Crysis to take this back and start making an impact here.
With the team of Bloodlust going towards the payload, they have 57 seconds to convert this payload, and that is a pressuring matter. As you can see, Sykes doesn't even matter that much about countering things. He wants to advance, and he can, because Snoofy has been doing great in the defense by placing his turrets all over the flanks. Now they are trying to go up through the right, and here starts the fight with Dalfit going into the fray.
Yeah, Defense just really trying to find that pick onto the Ying, make his impact right now. If he can find the Ying, he's found the Lian. Lian's gone down. Crysis are playing a 4v5 right now. Guys, all gets popped. And this could be Bloodlust game if they group up and push right now. They've got the Tyra out, they've got the Dread Serpent, they've got Seismic Crash. They can make this happen right now if they want to.
10 seconds left on the payload clock, with Snoofy trying his very best to defend. There's just no angels in this place. And he seems to go down to stop me, while Fraza says goodbye to this cruel world by the hands of the fit. A great impasse plays together with a Dread Serpent. Give it a Seismic Crash as a follow-up. Toxi trying his best to use an Enlightenment, but it's not enough. The whole place gets shredded.
Bloodlust was able to walk away with that with just like I feel like Bloodlust just had better coordination there, and the overall the better draft. Sure, we saw some counter picks coming out from Crysis. They were trying their best to just counter out the meta, but it wasn't enough. It just got kind of smashed. Too much damage on the side of Bloodlust just overpowered them.
Definitely, like they in my opinion, I think they won on the fact that they had 2 tanks and Crysis didn't, because if you're against a Talus, you need more than one front line to actually control the point. And I do think that Talus was the 3rd pick from Bloodlust, like with the 2nd and 3rd. So by then, Crysis could have really done something there, but it just didn't happen. They went for a composition that I get the composition, it makes sense, but I didn't like how they practically just ignored that they could actually have gotten an Ashe here. An Ashe would have helped their composition so brilliantly. But nonetheless, it was a good game.
It was indeed. And I think we're going to have to pass it back to GGJ right now. Second match.
Definitely.
Take a quick break. I'll pass it off. Thank you guys so much for watching the MLL. We'll be back after a short break. See you soon.
Here we are with Mr. J. What do you think about this game?
I don't know. He said we're going on a short break, or am I playing? Am I talking? You know,
you're talking, yeah.
Right. So we're not going on a break, guys. We'll be right back with game 2 shortly. But first of all, guys, I just want to bring you back to the defining moment in that last game, and that was when Sax on the Inara walled himself off, coming in through the last choke point under bridge, very low. DPS were low. The Androxus player had already fallen from Crysis. What was the defining moment for you two that was going to bring Crysis back into that game? I thought it was then. If they had concentrated, get the Nara down, if Sax would have fallen, they had no push. There was only a Makoa and the Ying on the right-hand side. The Tyra player, that both of them were low. They had to back off where we had respawn advantage coming in for Crysis, but we didn't see it, and we didn't see the positioning correctly to try and choke that off. Sadly, didn't happen, but I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah. It was a brilliant effort from Crysis, because how much can you do when there's 2 tanks and one of them being Inara with impasse on Jaguar Falls and having a flank known as Talus controlling the whole field? And like, I am very impressed that Snoofy actually got through 2 times towards the point to contest it, but sadly I think they were just lacking some frontline pressure, or at least some sustain, because as soon as they got low, they had to go back.
Yeah, I agree. I think, sorry, Rudy, bear with me a second. I agree, but I think, like, was the Ashe banned? Was there an Ashe ban on that game? I can't remember. But
nope.
What I feel like should have happened was a double tank. You can't go into a single tank into an Inara and a Makoa. The fact that both of those champions got through in the first place is just mind-boggling to me, because an Inara and Makoa is extremely difficult to get off. Yes, they had the combustible Drogos, but it was also shut out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's... You had to pressure the Inara. It's like the old saying, we kill everything around the Inara and then we go to point and kill her. Well, slight problem with that. You're dealing with one of an amazing Inara player in Sax. In fact, I think Sax is like one of the better players we got here in the MLL. I'm going to just show, give him a shout out there. I think he is. Now, I've seen him on the Willow. I've seen him on the Inara. I've seen him on so many champions. To me, he feels like he's one of those flex players that has so much strength. And for them to run a single tank into that, I felt that's where they lost the game, and that was in the draft. And I feel that need to have changed. So next game up is, I do believe it's
Stone Keep. With Crysis picking Stone Keep here. And we are actually just about to go into the draft before we go into a break. So thank you so much, GJ, for your insight. And we can't wait to hear your opinions on game number 2.